Hi, and welcome back to my Rug Hook and Talk Show. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, my name is Annette, and I've been hooking rugs over 20 years and doing a little chit-chat talk show. So solo hookers out there have a little place to come and learn, and if you don't have a teacher nearby, this will be your little helpful guide to learning some new things or just kind of hearing things for the first time. And if you are part of a group and you still want a place to kind of connect with other rug hookers or just watch what I'm working on to maybe just expand what you're doing, then great, come join us, and I'm glad you're here. So for those of you who know, I also have a blog. It's called Let's Hook .wordpress.com. You got to put the http// in front of it, and it will get you there. And I am posting all the pics of everything that I'm working on so that you can kind of go back and reference if there's something you want to see a little better or close up. I do books and movie reviews, so they're all there for you. And this has actually been a really neat time. We've had a lot of snow up here in New England, and it's been giving us a time to read and cook and bake and just rug hook and craft. Other people do other things, and that's so cool, whether you're doing quilting or whatever. It's just a nice time to stay in and work on those things that you thought might never get done, and you're almost forced to get that chance to stay in and work on it, so that's good. So grab a cup of tea or glass of wine, whatever time you're watching me. If it's nighttime, a cup of coffee, something warm, something cool, and just enjoy this next half hour or so of rug hooking or crafting, and just make it a special time for you. It's my special time. I'm drinking a new tea. It's a chrysanthemum tea, and it's an herbal tea. Obviously, it's just supposed to be very good for you for everything. So I'm trying a new tea, and it actually has a really nice little light flavor. Okay, so I'm going to try to hold this up so you can see. I've been posting the pics, but I've done a little bit more work, so there you go, let's say. Okay, you can see a lot of that black is getting done, and the background is really looking good. And the Cantha fabric is in place, and it wasn't glued down. I was going to glue it down, and I decided not to because I think it seeps through. The Cantha fabric is very thin. It's like a gauze fabric. So I hand stitched it in place, and that was fine. A little time consuming, but that's okay. It's all part of the process of enjoying your handiwork and knowing that you have a place to come and do this. And for me, it's my rugs, and I love it. So I'm hoping you're finding the same joy in your rug hooking. And there are a few things that will not bring you joy in rug hooking, so we're just going to go over that real quick. One is the wrong hook size, or the wrong hook. You know, we went through all different hooks and stuff, but everybody has their personal preference. Some people hook with a pencil, and believe it or not, let me see. Okay, I've got this hook that I've been using lately for this rug, and I use it like a pencil. So you can hook like you have a pencil hook with this, or you can put it into the palm of your hand. It's whatever is comfortable for you. I find when you hook like a pencil style, you can hook in many different directions a little bit more easily. If you have a rotating frame, that works even better, and I do. I didn't always. I had a manual frame. As you can see, I even have something on that frame right now, but I was testing out the new primitive linen that I had gotten, and trying to see what hook works best with it. So I did a little primitive rug just to kind of to test it out. So I'll show you really quick. Okay, so I just got like a little bird, and I'll probably list this and sell it on eBay. I've got so many of them, but it's just fun to work on something different. But I did this because I was trying to, this is a new linen that I'm working with from Sear Sport Rugs, and it's a primitive linen, and I'm giving that a try. And I noticed that I had to kind of change up my hooks a little with it. So there you go. You will sometimes have a situation where the hook doesn't match up to the linen style weave, or if your backing is monk's cloth. Monk's cloth works really well with any hook. So, that being said, but it has a double fiber, a double thread forming that little box. So sometimes people will complain that their hook, this would not work. This is the Hartman hook. This probably would not work well on monk's cloth, but most people use it for punch hooking. So there is not an issue with it getting caught because that hook goes down. It's kind of cylindrical and it comes back up. It doesn't have the little edge that would catch on anything. But I have hooked on monk's cloth. My red heart, the beige rug with the 3 hearts, that was done on monk's cloth. And I did it with my Moshimer hook. And since then I've gained a few other little hooks that are the Moshimer style, little short shank one. I'm not loving it at all, but it's there for those who like it. And my trusty old Moshimer. But I don't want to expand on it too much, but the bottom line is if you're not hooking comfortably, you will not want to hook. So you want to make sure the backing you use is something you really enjoy using. This is a linen that came with a whole bunch of rug hooking supplies that I had purchased from a woman who no longer wanted a rug hook. It's a very, very soft linen. It almost has a sheen to it. Any hook will go through this. It's amazing, and I will try to look for more of it. Since I'm running low on this, so I went and placed an order for Sears Sport primitive linen, but I believe iloverughooking.com sells this kind of soft linen, so I might be adding some of that. What's the difference? This works well, probably, I don't know, it's a little stiffer for me, and so some people like that. They don't like this soft, mushy thing, even for drawing a design on. That's a lot easier. This, it moves around a lot, so that might be one thing. And some people just don't like the softness of this. It moves a bit, and that's a little stiffer, so easier to hook with. It's not. It stays taut better. So everybody has a personal preference, and you must try. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And one more thing. For those of you who are getting the Rug Hooking magazine, this was from November, December. But I've had a lot of time to read because it's been really cold out and snowy, and so we've been in. But there's a really neat article, okay, from Rose Wirtz, the rug hooker. And I just wanted you to, if you didn't get a chance or you kind of skimmed over it, to really give that a look, because she does some really interesting things, and nature is her inspiration. She also does a lot of, she shows you how to dye with different flowers, marigolds and different petals, and wow, it was amazing because I would have never thought marigolds to dye with them, but I have plenty in my garden, so I'm going to try that this year. And she gives you a really quick breakdown of everything you need to do that. And so I just thought that was interesting, maybe to look forward to the spring. And here she is. They show you she's outside, and I have a grill outside with the burner. So I will be dyeing outside this year too, and I think it'll be great fun. She's also showing in here some tea bags. And so she's using some tea bags also, and I've done that. Tea bag dyeing is fun. So then you got chamomile tea, gives you like a yellowish color. You know, any of the cranberry or spiced apple or pumpkin, those will give you different hues. And people complain, well, you don't know how long they'll stay. They'll probably fade. I actually like that idea. When my rug is 100 years old, you know what? I'm okay with it looking 100 years old in good shape. So if it's on a good backing and you use good wool, I'm not worried about the color. I think it's actually almost more interesting to see that it will change color or lighten up or mellow with age. I think that's a really neat adjunct to rug hooking with natural dyes. Okay, so this is still the article, but I just wanted to show you. It's a little different for those of you who like, you know, more country and primitive. This is a little different, but just sharing with something new. And it is a very long article, so you've got some good reading. And she just shares with how she is inspired to use, you know, eco-friendly dyes and to use things that are around her for inspiration. And she also gives you a little recommendation for books and links. So it's a really neat article. And again, it's in Rug Hooking, the November-December one. And so there you go. I just wanted to share. And that cover's really, really pretty. Okay. So, like I said, I'm working on the little primitive to try out this new linen. And so far it's okay, but I had to switch my hook. And at times I was using the Hartman hook because it would actually make a nice big hole. That it's a little stiffer, this linen. It's not anything like that MCG textile. Do not even think that. I wouldn't even be able to work on it. But that was for a very fine cut. This is a primitive linen for primitive cut, so it works well with a wider cut, say 5 and up. Yeah. And so this opens it up a lot easier to pull. So that being said, this is why we have all these different hooks. But if you stick with one linen type and one style, you will only need one hook. And life is a whole lot simpler, isn't it now? So I just wanted to show you, I did a little quick drawing. And again, this is how your rugs might start out, with just a simple little drawing. Now, as you can see from what I started with, can you see over here? It's a lot different. My flower's a lot smaller. I added a zigzag up there. My little chicken friend is still the same, but the point is you're going to play with your rug and it's going to change up, and you might see things different the next day as you're hooking it. And I think that's happened a lot of times to me. I'm looking at something, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. Why would I put that in there? Or that background's not working. So that's what happened. Actually, I was going to have the chicken lighter, and I was going to have the background darker. But guess what? I didn't think I had enough of the fabric to use, so I switched it up and made do. So what is a primitive rug? Okay, so a primitive rug is a rug design that is very primitive. It's something you see a child draw, something very, very simple with virtually no detail probably in the main subjects whatsoever. It's a very simple rug to make. And the beauty of it is the simplicity of it, that it is so simple, and it might have this beautiful variegated background with 2 or 3 different color fabrics, just because they were making do with what they had. And just that in and of itself creates a very interesting, beautiful looking rug. And they're very simple, and they're usually of dull color, so they fit in well with almost any color scheme that you have. Even if you have a modern house, a very simple rug like that laying on a table will add a little warmth and country feel, a little antique-y look to it without doing too much. And it's almost like a little picture, a little work of art. So the simplicity of primitive rugs is very well received, so to speak. And so that's why they're well liked, and people are always looking to buy primitive rugs. You know, the simple one with a horse or a dog, or you know, a chicken, or just a little house with a tree. Those are all popular motifs. And so yeah, this is my second chicken rug. My first chicken rug sold a while back, and it was on a black background. I believe it's in my number 6 video. I think it's in there. So yeah, and that's it. So that's just a simple little primitive style, and the rest will just be a background. And as I hook on it, I will share with you what it looks like. I know I don't want you to think I'm running in 3 million different directions, but the linen had come in and I just had to hook on it because I've never hooked on that linen. So that being said, this is what we're working on. So as you can see, I've really completed a lot on the black background, and that's what I'm going to be working on to finish this up. So I hope you're all staying warm. And for those of you who are in another area, say you're in, you know, Hawaii, or, you know, maybe even Alaska, or just somewhere far away from the Northeast, just drop a comment. I just think that's really interesting to see how far our little group is connecting out there. And I think it's even fun for the other viewers who are part of this group to see where our other group is actually connecting to. So if you do that, that would be so much fun to hear from you. So I thought about doing this background in a white, not a white, an ivory I should say, because as I was hooking it, I actually thought it looked really good with the ivory background of the linen. So I decided to do the black, but I thought how different an ivory background would look on this particular mat. But you know what? I had to see it in the black. I thought it was really, really pretty with the colors being so deep and bright. So you could see I'm going to show you something. So as we're hooking here, let's see if I can fix this so I can show you what I mean by hooking like with a pencil. Okay. See if I can get a little closer here without getting too fuzzy. I don't know if that helps. But okay, so if you hold it, for those of you who are new and wondering, what is she talking about holding it like a pencil? Well, the way you would write. If you hold your hook like you're going to sign your name, that's holding it like a pencil. But when you hold it like that, you have to pull up the fabric, probably in a very flat, for me, it would have to be very flat and level because of the leverage. Hooking with a pencil and pulling back, if it's tilted, becomes a little bit difficult. So that works better if you're holding your hook like a ball. So what is the advantage to hooking pencil style? Well, you can hook very quickly. So that becomes the advantage. And as you can see, you just pull up and there you go. You're hooking away. And so that's one of the advantages of hooking pencil style. And it's good because you change up the position of your hand a bit, and that is probably a really good thing to do. So as you can see, that's it. I think I might have hooked too small into that. Let's see if that comes up. Oh, it did. Okay. There's a tiny little space there. So I'll use a tiny little piece of black, a very thin piece I'll cut later at the end and pop that in there. So I'm not concerned. And at the end of your rug, you go around and check. So that's when you hook with the pencil style. You could hook very quickly. I think you can hook quickly because it's one motion. It's just up. But when you're hooking with the ball, you have to go in and pull it up and then kind of swing to the side a little, twist that hand a little to pull that loop all the way up and not pull out the loop before you. So pencil hooking is a little different style of hooking, but you can hook much quicker. So I just wanted to share that with you for those of you who are kind of new to that. Okay, so and in a background, I kind of like to hook quickly. Not quickly to the point where I'm in a race, but it's kind of nice to see it work up quicker than, you know, working on a design element part. Okay, so, and also go ahead and subscribe as the videos come out. You will just get an automatic link to see the video, and so that kind of is fun to not have to go searching for me through YouTube, because searching through YouTube can be a little disheartening. It doesn't always pull up. I'm going to go back and say my Rug Cooking Talk Show number 13, part 1, I believe, has very few views on it. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to go back and see part 1 of Rug Cooking Show number 13. Let's see, my Rug Cooking Show 49 is still very light. I mean, I have 111 subscribers and there's only about 58 views on it. So just about almost half of you have not seen number 49 part 1, and there's 2 parts. For some reason part 2 got all the viewers, so I'm not sure why that happened, or if YouTube is not pulling it up in your search. So go ahead and subscribe. I think it'll be a lot easier for you if you are searching these out and not finding them. And so yes, that's it. We're just moving along with this, and I'm just very, very pleased with this. And Joe, so for those of you who are just tuning in, this is an Anderson frame that I'm hooking on, and I'm hooking with wool. There is no yarn in here, but there is a fabric called Kantha fabric. It's from India. It's a layered fabric that's hand stitched to almost give a light quilted effect on a gauze fabric. That's in here too. And I'm very pleased with this. It's coming along very pretty. It's my happy rug, and I'm very happy when I'm working on it anyway. So that being said, I just want to, thank you for coming, and thank you for being part of the group. I wish you some happy hooking. Stay well, stay warm, and I'll see you soon. I'll put new pics on the blog of this as it's worked up. Another one will go on today, because the last one I put clearly did not have all this background done. So I will put a pic of that up, and you know what? I'll even throw a pic up of the little primitive, my little chicken guy over there in the corner, and so you can kind of see how that's working up on that new linen backing from Sear Sport rugs. And they're on the internet. She has, I believe, a shop in Florida and a shop in Maine. So just go ahead and Google SearSportRugs.com, and you'll pull her up. And that's it. That's a little bit of a stiffer linen, and this one that is softer, which I believe iloverugcooking.com has, it's a lot softer. So it's all personal preference. Okay, stay well.